Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mark Izzo from the Burning Hammer and Vendetta Sports Media, and it's Wednesday night. You know what that means. But before we get into AEW Dynamite, make sure to follow the Burning Hammer on our social media. On Twitter, we are at The Burnt Hammer. On Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, we are at The Burning Hammer. Make sure to follow us on Twitch at The Burning Hammer Podcast. And you can follow me on Twitter at @MarkIzzo_wave. And you can listen to the Burning Hammer Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Plus, it's on YouTube. So go over to wherever you listen to podcasts and check it out. And make sure to follow Vendetta Sports Media on all of their social media. On Twitter, they are at Vendetta VSM. On Instagram and TikTok, they are at Vendetta Sports Media. And make sure to check out vendettasportsmedia.com for all of your sports needs, plus TV, movies, and gaming. You name it, they cover it. Head over to vendettasportsmedia.com. Now, like I said, it's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. AEW Dynamite is less than 30 minutes away. So what this is going to be is me going over the match card for Dynamite tonight. Now, this is sort of a test run. If this goes well, then I'm going to try to do it every Dynamite, the half hour before Dynamite and a half hour before Friday Night SmackDown. And who knows? Maybe we'll go live in the future for pay-per-views and premium live events. But without further ado, let's go over the AEW Dynamite match card. So, kicking us off, the FTW champion Hook will be taking on Matt Hardy. Now, if I'm being honest, I'm not very intrigued with this match at all. I'm not really sure what they're doing with Matt Hardy. For me, it just really has not been working. I prefer him as Broken Matt Hardy, but they since dropped that gimmick a few years ago, and they really haven't done much with him. I know they brought Jeff Hardy in, which was awesome, but since Jeff Hardy had to go to rehab, they really just have not done anything with Matt Hardy, and they don't know what to do with him. And that is very clear because he's sort of just doing this thing with the firm where he's under contract with them. But Matt Hardy is a professional wrestling legend. He is a tag team legend. So they need to be doing something with him instead of having him in this weird little feud with the firm, which the firm has also not worked since MJF really hired them and then left. So I'm not sure what they're going to do with the firm in the future, but I like all of the people involved in the firm. I just don't think it's working as a collective, as a whole. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. I think there's no shot that Hook drops the title. I really don't know when Hook is going to lose this championship because it's the one that his father Taz really created and held for pretty much its entirety. So I don't know who's going to be the next FTW champion. Maybe Taz will wrestle Hook at some point and win it back. Maybe Brian Cage will do it. Maybe Ricky Starks will get it again. Who knows? But I think Hook's going to walk away with this one. And I don't think this is going to be a match that really lasts that long. Hook matches typically don't, but I think as time goes on, we've been seeing that he has been given more time to actually wrestle because he is very young. I believe he's around 23. So he's definitely still has some room to improve, and that will come with the years. So again, I am not excited for this match at all. I think it could definitely not be on the card and no one would really miss it. But speaking of a match that could not be on the card, next up, let's discuss Peter Avalon versus Chris Jericho. Peter Avalon made his AEW Dynamite return since God knows how long. He's mostly been wrestling on AEW Dark. He cut his hair. He came out last week to interrupt Chris Jericho and Ricky Starks because Starks sort of held an open contract to face him at Revolution. Peter Avalon was going to go out there and sign it so he can wrestle at the pay-per-view, but Chris Jericho had other plans. Ricky Starks got Chris Jericho to sign the contract, so now it is going to be Chris Jericho taking on Ricky Starks, and the JAS is banned from ringside. Now, I love Chris Jericho, and I absolutely love Ricky Starks, but this feud just doesn't really make sense to me. Ricky Starks beat Chris Jericho, and Ricky Starks is now the person who is trying to get a match against Chris Jericho again, which to me doesn't make much sense. Like Ricky Starks already beat Chris Jericho. He's proven that he in that time and in that moment was better than Chris Jericho. He has one up on Chris Jericho. So why is Ricky Starks trying to do all of this stuff to face Chris Jericho again? Like I said, I don't really understand it. I'm not sure why the guy who just beat the other guy is trying to get another match against the guy who he just beat. He tried to go through the JAS, the Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia gauntlet. So, like I said, it doesn't make much sense. This is going to be about a 30-second match. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ricky Starks show up during this, or I would definitely expect Chris Jericho to cut a promo following this match. So, again, not super excited for it. It's not going to last long. I think this and the Hook versus Matt Hardy match could have a total time of just 10 minutes total for both of them. So, again, I don't know that this necessarily needs to be on the card. I think they could have put another women's match on the card in its place, but I'm not the one booking the matches. So let's move on to the only women's match on the card, and it has the opportunity to steal the show and be an absolute banger. That is Toni Storm taking on Riho. Now, Storm has been tormenting the women's division along with Saraya. A lot of people have been very critical of their heel turns, and no one is really a fan of it. And personally, I don't mind them as heels. I think the way they went about it was strange. I think it all started with when they officially turned heel, because they just like randomly attacked someone after the match, and then it was like they're kind of just heels. Like it didn't really work then, and I think that's really what is holding them back right now. Plus their antics just don't really make much sense. And I don't think it's that they can't be heels. I think it's the way they're going about things. And I just think this is another case of they need to get some writers in for AEW. It really can't be one guy just writing all of the storylines and booking the matches, because AEW puts on really high quality matches, but they are seriously lacking when it comes to storylines. Now, I'm not saying every storyline is bad, but that is definitely their weakest point, is with the storylines. But like I said, I am very excited for this match. It is going to slap, and it has the chance to be the best match on the card. It's going to be interesting to see what the outcome is. Riho hasn't been wrestling much in AEW. She is the first women's world champion, and Toni Storm is the most recent women's world champion before she lost the belt to Jamie Hayter. So this match is going to be awesome. If you watch any match on this card, definitely watch this match, but I wouldn't be surprised if Saraya sort of gets involved to help Toni Storm get the win and not really beat Riho in a clean fashion. So let's move on to the second championship match of the night, and that is the All Atlantic Championship. It is your champion, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, taking on the Firm's Big Bill. Now, before I dive into this match, I feel like not enough people are talking about just how bad of a name Big Bill is. I don't know why they changed it from W. Morrissey. They could have called him that. They could have called him Morrissey. They literally could have called him anything else, but they decided on Big Bill. Again, the least creative name. It's like a very 1980s, 1990s, like old school wrestling name, just calling someone big and then just having a very generic first name. So AEW, let's maybe change Big Bill's name back to W. Morrissey, because I am a big fan of W. Morrissey. I think he could be doing a lot of things in AEW, but I don't know if he ever will, or if he ever will get the opportunity to do that. On the other side, Orange Cassidy has been doing great as the All Atlantic champion. As sad as I was to see Pac drop the belt, I was happy that they put it on Orange Cassidy, because I absolutely love Orange Cassidy. I know he's a bit controversial just because of the style of his wrestling, but I thought when I first watched him, it was very refreshing to see someone with that gimmick that I just have never seen before, and I really enjoyed it. And I think he is a sneaky good wrestler, as we just saw with his match against Wheeler Yuta on last week's episode of Dynamite. He's sort of been defending the title every week, either on Dynamite or on Rampage. I would like to see him get into like an actual storyline, but like I said, AEW, that is their biggest weakness. So I don't know if we're ever going to get it. I feel like a lot of the times It's either a really bad storyline or it's just wrestlers not really being in a storyline and they're sort of just having these one-off matches. We've seen it with Jade Cargill, we've seen it with Orange Cassidy, we've sort of seen it with the Elite. So I think that's definitely something that AEW needs to work on, is just building storylines, especially with your champions. But I think this could be a really fun match. I don't think it's going to go on forever. I would give it probably about 10 minutes, but I would be very surprised if Big Bill walks out with the All Atlantic Championship. Now, I think Orange Cassidy is definitely going to win, whether that's clean or probably be like a roll up of sorts. But like I said, the match is going to be fine. I think it has the chance to be a lot of fun. So I definitely think it's going to be worth the watch. Another match that I think could be worth the watch is the Casino Battle Royale. Now, this is going to see who is going to be added to the Fatal 4-Way match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships at Revolution. And the match currently is the Guns, who are the champions, the Acclaimed, Jeff Jarrett, and Jay Lethal. And then this fourth team is going to be figured out tonight. Now, the teams are Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, Top Flight, Lucha Bros, Roosh and Preston Vance, Aussie Open 2.0, The Kingdom, Best Friends, Dark Order, and The Butcher and the Blade. Now, if you ask me, I think Best Friends or Dark Order absolutely deserve to win this match, and they should have won the last one they had last week. I don't know why Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal won it. Those are two extremely underutilized and underrated wrestlers and tag teams, and I think WWE or AEW really dropped the ball with Dark Order. Really, ever since Brody Lee passed away, it feels like they haven't really known what to do with them. And it's been sad because we've seen their numbers dwindle down to now it's only 3 guys. So I think that they should push Dark Order. I think they should push Best Friends. I think that Evil Uno just proved he is one hell of a wrestler, as he took John Moxley to his limits last week and put on a very bloody match, but a good match nonetheless. So as far as who I think is going to win this match, it's really tough because I could see almost any of these teams winning, probably besides 2.0. Again, I love 2.0 as well, but they just haven't been doing much with them besides just being in the JAS and sort of just being like jabronis. So um, I I think Claudio and Wheeler are probably going to end up winning if I had to take my guess. But if I could pick the winner, I would definitely do Dark Order. Just because, like I said, I love Dark Order. They're super underrated. They're underutilized. So let's push Dark Order. Let's push Best Friends. Top Flight has been proven that they can really wrestle with the best of them. The Lucha Bros have not been seen lately, so it's nice to see them back in action on AEW. Aussie Open is getting some time on AEW. So this could really be a decent match. We saw the Battle Royal last week was a lot of fun. And I think that this one could be just as fun, if not even more fun. So let's move on to another match that I think has the potential to really be the match of the night, and that is the face of the Revolution ladder match. Now, this is going to determine pretty much the next challenger for the TNT Championship. Samoa Joe, who is going to be on commentary for this match, is your current TNT champion, and he's going to be facing Wardlow at Revolution. So this is going to pretty much determine who is going to be next up in line, and I think this match could determine who's going to win at Revolution. So the participants are Powerhouse Hobbs, Sammy Guevara, AR Fox, Eddie Kingston, Action Andretti, Ortiz, Konosuke Takeshita, and Commander. Now, Commander is making his AEW debut. The former AAA star is finally making his AEW debut. And this is a great field of wrestlers. And this really has all of the ingredients to be a really good match, a pay-per-view quality match. And if I'm being honest, I'm not really sure who's going to come out on top. I think I would like to see Powerhouse Hobbs win it because he already has that history with Samoa Joe, and I think he may be the most likely person to win this match. They've been doing the chapters of the Book of Hobbs, and I think that he should be the winner of this match. If we're being honest, ever since he lost that match, he didn't go after the title again. It was sort of weird because he didn't do much and has been sort of just like going over the Book of Hobbs and sort of trying to find himself again. So um, I think he's definitely going to win, and he may be the next TNT champion. I said it a while ago, but I absolutely love Powerhouse Hobbs, and I think he should hold a championship in AEW. And I think he is definitely a future AEW world champion. If there's one thing AEW knows how to do, it's put on these type of ladder matches. So with the people involved, this match definitely is going to be insane, and it's definitely going to be worth a watch, and it is going to be a pay-per-view quality match. So definitely you're going to want to watch this. I wouldn't be I think that is probably going to be in the main event. So basically they just have to grab this brass ring, and then that's how they'll determine who is going to face whoever the TNT champion is after Samoa Joe and Wardlow's match at Revolution, which again should be a really fun match. But as much as I love Wardlow, and I do love Wardlow, I don't want him to win because I absolutely love Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. But B, they've been playing hot potato with with all of their titles in AEW, specifically the TNT Championship. They do not have long title runs for that championship, and that is not how you build prestige for a championship. Me and Dylan talk about it all of the time on the podcast. It all comes down to booking, and you need long title reigns to essentially build up a title and make it worthy and make it prestigious. And they have not done that to the TNT Championship. It really has fallen off over the past 1, 2, 3 years. So I would like to see Samoa Joe have a long title run and really bring back prestige to the championship. But if Powerhouse Hobbs is the next TNT champion, he is definitely someone who I could see holding the title for a very long time. And I think a Powerhouse Hobbs TNT championship run would be absolutely awesome. Hopefully, let's get him a storyline that is not just like a one-off match, because Powerhouse Hobbs is awesome, and I would like to see him in an actual storyline. So I think Powerhouse Hobbs is definitely going to walk out as the winner of the Revolution ladder match, and I think he could be the next TNT champion. So let's move on to MJF and Bryan Danielson meeting face to face. They are going to be facing off at Revolution in a 60-man Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship. Now, they had an awesome interaction last week, and it's for that reason that I really don't feel like they needed to meet face to face again. Or I think that their interaction last week should have been the last interaction, whether it happened last week, whether it happened this week. It's when you have something that explosive, there's really no reason to have something following that. Hopefully, I think it should just be like a little video promo from the both of them in separate rooms, because if these guys are in the same arena again, they're just going to start to fight again. And MJF delivered another unreal promo. He's been receiving a lot of hate recently just for his promos, but I think that he is so good, and every week he puts out these promos, and literally any other wrestler, it would be the promo of their life. But for MJF, it's just another Wednesday. So I don't know why people are hating on MJF recently. But they really need to cool it with that, because MJF is the man. He's the future of AEW, and he potentially could be the future of WWE next year. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. I just don't see how you can top their interaction last week. They both cut really good promos, and it ended in an absolute brawl. So, like I said, that should have been the last interaction. They do not need to talk because the Revolution is this coming week. Or next week, or no, this week. Yeah, it's this Saturday or Sunday. So they don't need to do this. If they do, just make it a little video package, because I think if they try to get into the ring and cut a promo and do another promo battle, I think it's really going to take the fire out of this feud a little bit. And I think it's going to take the fire out of the last interaction that they had. So I don't know what they're going to do. Like I said, hopefully it's just a video package, because this feud does not need another face-to-face interaction. So that's the entire announced card for AEW Dynamite. Revolution's really looking like it's stacking up to be a pretty decent show, but it's going to be interesting. One thing that a lot of people have been talking about is if Kenny Omega is going to go to WWE once his contract expires with AEW. That would be spicy. I think Kenny Omega would really thrive in WWE. I don't know if he's going to transition to there. He was once in NXT, but then he didn't work, which WWE really dropped the ball with that one. But Kenny Omega's contract was said to be expired, but since he missed time with injury, they added time to his contract. So that's currently why he's wrestling, because of the missed time from his injury. So let me know, do you think Kenny Omega should go to WWE once his AEW contract expires? And if he does, do you think that's going to be the downfall of All Elite Wrestling? And let me know, are you excited for Dynamite? We kick off in just about 5 minutes, but that's going to wrap it up. Make sure to follow us on Twitter for live tweeting during AEW Dynamite. On Twitter, we are at The Burnt Hammer. On TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, we are at The Burning Hammer. Make sure to listen to the Burning Hammer podcast, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And we are now on Twitch at The Burning Hammer podcast. We are going to be live streaming way more. Like I said in the beginning, I'm going to try to do it 30 minutes before Dynamite and 30 minutes before SmackDown. And if I like to do them, then I may just go live for premium live events and pay-per-views. You can follow me on Twitter at @MarkIzzo_wave, and make sure to follow Vendetta Sports Media on their socials. On Twitter, they are at Vendetta VSM. On Instagram and TikTok, they are at Vendetta Sports Media. And make sure to visit vendettasportsmedia.com for all of your sports needs. Anything from TV, gaming, movies, and then any sport you can think of, they cover it. So if you like sports, if you like television, if you like movies, if you like gaming, head over to vendettasportsmedia.com for all of that good stuff. This has been a blast. I'm Mark Izzo from The Burning Hammer from Vendetta Sports Media, and I'll catch you in 2 days for the Friday night SmackDown pre-show. Have a good night.